Welcome to the Redvee TV instant reaction supported by Chapel House Cars for the 2025 season. Following Saints 20 points to 10 defeat against Hull KR here at the Totally Wicked Stadium this evening. Kevin, Hull KR were good without needing to be very good to win that game. Jack Smith was bad and Saints were quite honestly appalling and even worse.
Yeah, I think the first 20-25 minutes I was happy just to be 4-0 down. I think that Hull KR just were better at everything. Post-contact meters, line speed, ruck speed, just ideas. They just looked like they had us under the pump. And then you add to that the mistakes that we make. And it just means we're not getting out of our own defensive areas. It felt a little bit like a last season display, like a hangover, and probably gives us a fair reflection of where we are. I always say I'm not going to fall in love with us after a couple of rounds, especially when Wakefield are the only team who've probably given us a test so far this year before tonight. Again, I'm always going to stick with that a team like Hull KR are going to give you a good, proper test. And tonight we showed that we weren't good enough for that at the moment. Yeah,
I think I said to you in the car driving over, this probably shows just about where we are tonight. We looked shell-shocked in that opening 20 minutes. Hull KR came to play. And do you know what? I started by saying they were good without needing to be very good. That is probably a little bit of a disservice to them. They came and gave a perfect away performance. That opening 20 minutes, they absolutely battered us. We couldn't get out of our own 20. When we got to the last tackle, our last play kicks, Jack Wellesby, Tristan Taylor, awful. One was lucky not to go out on the full, one did. And they put the pressure on. And as you say, to only be 4-0 down, and that was from a botched high kick, which
should have
been dealt with. If there is a positive to take from Saints there, defensively we were spot on pretty much for that first 20 minutes, being under the pump, but it leaves up then making that much defensive effort takes its toll later in the game in the second half. We didn't cross the halfway line until the 21st minute, I don't think, and even then we knocked on at the play of the ball.
Yeah, the defensive resilience is something to look at, but we're looking for something more. And we're looking for your players to be able to get on the front foot, to take an initiative. And tonight, we weren't allowed to do that. We really weren't. As you say, Hull KR were good. Hull KR have probably got another couple of gears that they could have gone through. They didn't have to tonight.
To be fair, if you've come from Hull on a Friday night,
yeah. Good on them. Yeah, good on them. Yeah.
Not entirely sure they'll remember much in the morning if that's the state they're in now. Okay, we're still talking first half of the minute. The refereeing in the first half, it looked one way in terms of, I think he penalises Kyle Feld for not playing the ball properly, and then on the edge of half time, you'll have to let him on.
All I'm saying is, up the Robins won the lead and the Challenge Cup, you Reds!
They're always worth a couple of 1,000 views on this video when they win, so...
You know what, at least he's come on and he's not swore like they did last year. Yeah. Like they came on and swore last year and it was like, oh lads, don't let yourselves down.
I've not had to edit it.
No.
Yeah, he's penalised Kyle Felt for playing the ball. But then, on the stroke of half time, Mikey Lewis walks off the mark, gets his kick away, he's off balance and he gives them a penalty and they score on the back of it. The inconsistency, the ruck tonight was horrific. And I think it's been something you've seen through Super League all season. The amount of slowing down to play the ball and you can just lie in the ruck. We had it at Wakefield last week when we got penalised. Yeah. When McMeekin doesn't clear the ruck, we can't pick the ball up and he gives them a penalty off the back of it. Or, sorry, he allows them to steal a ball. It's almost like it's gone too far the other way now, where we tried to get a quick play of the ball for a couple of years, and now you can just mess about, keep your hands in, lie on a little bit, but we don't seem to have mastered it going the other way.
We need to get better. We need to get better at not letting the referee have to make a decision in some instances. So like mucking about at the play of the ball, not playing the ball correctly. This is schoolboy stuff. And it's easy for us to say it on the terraces. We're not the ones casting the ball in on your own 20 and not making those post-contact meters. It's dead easy for us to say. But also, I'm not a professional rugby player where you think you should be playing the ball correctly. You can't put yourself in that position. And again, this mirrors what I talk about last year. It was that type of performance that we're making the referee make decisions. Now, I'm being very careful with my words here because I'm criticising us rather than him. Because last year we did the same. We were so indisciplined, and tonight that's fallen over into this year. We need to knock that out. We've got Leeds in the Cup next week. We've got Warrington coming up, and we're not too far away from Good Friday. You do that against one of them teams, and you have a performance like that, and it's such an indisciplined performance, and you're gonna get punished, and especially against a team like Wigan who. No offence to OKR, yeah, they're up for it tonight, but it's not a derby, it's not a local derby. There's no real bragging rights there. They're not going to bump into many Saints fans at work and be able to take a mick. It's frustrating. It's a frustrating performance because there's little bits of good in there, but there's an awful lot that you've got to say. You've got to work on that during the week. I'm sure Wello, Lee Breers, Eamon Carroll will be saying exactly the same. That at times we look rushed. Like we're panicking. Yeah, you get a quick play of the ball, and we don't know what we're doing with it. So it's just like, right, give it a forward just to trundle it in.
How many not even trundle it in. Yeah. How many times tonight in that first half was it one-man rugby? But the one man who was getting the ball was taking it stood still, and it made their line speed. Listen, their line speed was quick.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was
definitely quick. And then in reverse. They were making 8 metres before any sort of contact.
Yeah, I think second half, you said that right at the start of the second half when we looked like we were going to show something, but it just wasn't consistent enough. And I think that's the main thing from that performance tonight. There was no consistency in it. So that's what I mean by trundling the ball up, though. That somebody's getting a pass and they're stood like you. I've got the ball, right, what am I going to do? I'm going to make 2
Making
metres.
As many metres as me.
Yeah, I'm going to make 2 metres and I'm going to get tackled because they've come in and closed me down. And then we're having a couple of different sets like that. So you can't build any momentum. You can't build any attacking fluidity. And you come away from the game frustrated because Hull KR are smothering you and doing the right things and stopping you from playing. But we could have been so much better there. And that is the frustrating thing, that we could have been so much better and we just weren't.
Kyle Feld this evening. Not his best performance in the Redvee. Penalised and pinged a couple of times in the first half for indiscipline. Penalised at the start of the second half. Fails to deal with a high bomb. Where we conceded from. I think the next set is when they walked round him on the outside and he looked like turning around like a Sherman tank. He had a massive bandage on his leg. He did not look fit to me. And listen, if he's put his hand up to play because we're short on the edge with Lewis Murphy missing the edge, for whoever commented on Redvee saying they want us to, it's the wing. A night to forget for Kyle. Yeah, not his best tonight.
No, not his best tonight. And
this is going to go for a few more in a minute.
Yeah, not his best tonight.
If you want to see what Kev's ratings are, look at All Out Rugby League.
Yeah. Not his best night tonight. A couple of key errors as well. When you're getting pinged for penalties and not playing the ball correctly, and then it's leading to dangerous situations and putting your team under the pump.
Stupid ones as well. Like that Mikey Lewis one, I was calling for it to get off him. It was last tackle and then on the halfway line. No need for it. I know it was a soft penalty at the end of it and he was off balance and it shouldn't have been, but you've put yourselves in a position for that to get given.
I think that's why I'm very careful with what I say, that we've got to take ourselves out of that situation. I'm not
just release it.
I'm not having a go at as I say, I'm not criticising Jack Smith for that, because there's a decision to be made and he can say, well, he forced my hand, this is what's happened. And people can have their opinions on Jack Smith, say he's bad, say he was all right for both teams, say he was terrible for both teams.
He was as good as he was last night as a video ref.
But we're putting ourselves in that position. Yeah. It's us. It's our fault that we're putting ourselves in that position.
That, by the way, I'm sour grapes now. That try on the stroke of half time looked distinctly forward as well.
I think it looked all right on the replay. I don't think it was as bad when you see it on the replay.
Anyway, we've gone in 10-6 down. 10-6? Yeah, 10-6. You've left yourself in a position to get back into that game, and then second half we've just.
But let's get on to something that you kind of want to look at as well, the interchanges.
Okay, what's the plan there tonight?
Yeah.
I know so.
You tell me.
Right. So George has come in. Obviously, listen, Matty Lees straight away. We haven't even sort of discussed the team. We've missed Matty Lees.
Yeah.
George has obviously come in to do his big minutes, and I think he played 35 before he's come off. We've had Iggy come on in the first half, and I think he did 10 minutes and went back off. We looked all over the show with the forwards. You've chose to put Noah on the bench. I said it in the first half. In that first 20 minutes, we had nothing. We needed some grunt. We got, to be fair to Iggy, when he came on, we got that. I think he was our best forward tonight.
Yeah,
I know Alex has made a couple of meters at the end and show-stopping ones, highlight reel ones, but in the grind of it, when the game was in the balance, it was Iggy was making them yards.
Yeah.
And for me, you've got Noah on the bench, who is basically Iggy's carbon copy. So if you're being successful with Iggy there, why not give Noah a go for more minutes?
Can we have a go at this?
Let's carry on. Hang on, we're in the middle of a flow. So you can wait. So, and you're not going to swear, otherwise I have to edit it, and I haven't got time for that. So, where am I up to now? Noah. So when you actually you're rotating interchange. If you're going to have Noah on the bench as your fourth man, and you're not using James Bell, you need to utilise him earlier. When you do eventually bring him on after 60 minutes, I think you got about 9-10 minutes, and you're taking him off again to put Alex back on at that point in the game where Alex looks tired.
Yeah, and I think that was the issue with the interchanges.
They're relying on Alex too much.
But we paid James Bell and Joe Batchelor. I'm very happy to give that money into someone from the NRL, and I think Victor Radley.
If Victor Radley's got a head to the left because of the amount of head injuries he gets.
That's a rumour. That's a rumour I've heard.
Plenty of rumours about.
I don't want Kai Pearce-Ball because he's a dirty.
I would get.
Careful.
Yeah. Look, I don't want to get a red card.
No, honestly. I would get of every.
That I word. Is that
one at a time.
Every
That's the
decent
I word.
Saints player like James Bell, Batchelor, and I would swap him instantly for Victor Radley straight away, no matter what.
If you need to get someone in, where are we carrying on?
We need to get someone. We need to get someone in. We got rid of Batchelor.
We're discussing yellow cards, right? We're moving you on. We're discussing yellow cards. We're moving on, right? I don't want to have to edit this because I'm knackered as it is.
No, do you know what? I'll be proper. I've heard all the rumours about Victor Radley. I know he wants to come back to home. I know he's a Lancashire lad.
Can we afford him?
Well, you've heard it here first.
We have left 3 big men.
But honestly, the one thing I think
If you can
is
leave
if we get rid of all them like 3 players like
If you can leave
Knowles,
3 men out.
Bell, and Batchelor, and leave Wellesby on his own, I think he'll go as well.
2028.
I think he'll go. It does. Contracts to me mean nothing. It's like Brodie Croft at Salford. He was on a 5-year contract. He's a year into it and he left. Honestly, I'm saying contracts mean nothing in Super League anymore.
Right, Kev, we are moving on.
Right.
I want to go home. Where are we up to on this fan reaction? Right, interchange.
Yeah.
Come back in.
Sorry. Interchange. Yeah, it didn't seem like it seemed when you're rolling your forwards like that and you're not changing them in the first half when it looks like we've got no goal forward. You open yourself up to that criticism. To criticism. You do open yourself up to criticism with interchanges.
If you don't trust Noah enough to give him more than 9-10 minutes, okay. If you're not going to utilise him more than 10 minutes, put James Bell on the bench.
Yeah, because I think it's more about sharpness and the difference between being fit and being match sharp. I think that's what it is, rather than a trust issue.
But how is he going to get the sharpness?
Exactly. He needs more than 10 minutes a go. He really does. You'd like to see it, but it's almost like, I bet in game that was a bit more fluid than we think. interchange-wise. I'd like to think it was, because if that was a plan that it was just 10 minutes,
Especially
then
when-
I think it's gone wrong.
Especially when they've lost an interchange. I think it was Dean Radley went off with HIA and couldn't come back on. And maybe that's why we were rolling the interchanges so much, to try and just keep the bodies fit on the pitch. But then you've got Noah, who's young, fresh. I just felt we could have used him maybe 15, 20 minutes in that game, and instead of flogging George for 60 minutes.
Yeah, I think sometimes when
And he wasn't getting much success tonight, George, was he?
when I thought George went all right. I think when you've got someone who's doing Matty Lee's minutes who isn't Matty Lee's, and he's a young forward, you've also got to not burn him out. We've seen players who get burned out and don't last the course. I don't want that to happen to George. So swap him earlier. Just give him another 10 minutes off. I'm an advocate of a change just before half-time. I think we got one. Jake Wingfield came on, I think, 5 minutes before half-time. It's a perfect time to bring Noah on and give him a stint. Give him between 5 and 10 minutes there.
10 minutes in the start.
10 minutes to start the second, or 5
That's when
minutes.
That's when he's done really well.
Yeah.
When he was playing for the reserves. That's how he was utilised for the stint. What do you think about the halves tonight, Johnny Lomax and Tristan Saylor?
I think Tristan needs to work on his defence, and I think unfortunately he was anonymous tonight. And whether that's just because of Mikey Lewis and Tyrone May being so dominant, I think that Tristan wasn't anywhere near what we needed him to be tonight to get on the front foot. I think Johnny was the most likely to make something. I thought he was the one taking on the line. But
Is
again,
that what we want him doing?
probably not, but if the other one isn't doing it, then it falls on your other halfback to keep him guessing and to take the ball into line. I don't want to see a 30-odd-year-old Johnny Lomax doing it, but if he's the one who's looking more likely, listen, needs a must at times.
Listen,
I think it was a frustrating night for him as well.
We've not been great tonight.
No.
I think that's probably our first real test. You probably see what we need to go back and work on. It's still early in the year, but we need to be much better. We're going to need to be much better next week to beat Leeds.
Yeah,
and that's saying something.
It's a test that I thought we were failing after about 20 minutes. Then we kind of thought it and thought, actually, we're doing all right to hang in here. And then in the second half, when the game got away from us, it was definitely a fail.
Dan! Dan!
It was a fail.
Dan!
It was a fail tonight, unfortunately. I think there's, again, as I said at the start, I think there's been some good bits, but an awful lot that needs working on.
Yeah. Disappointment.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Yeah.
I was going to use me. We haven't even discussed Jimmy Bell.
No.
We'll use that pun next week.
Yeah.
Right. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll be back during the week for the Redvee TV show. Catch you soon.